It all started on one very hot day in Nashville, Tennessee, when we were out with our little 2-year-old girl playing in the water. Her legs began to turn purple. And we thought that was strange. And then that same day, we noticed these little tiny nodules on her legs. Probably not bigger than what, head of a pin?
No, you're tiny.
Yeah. We did do a biopsy of one of these, and the initial diagnosis was T-cell lymphoma, which is a very relatively rare form of skin cancer. But I wasn't convinced that that's what she had, and so I decided to have those biopsies sent over to one of my pathologists to look at them again.
And he goes, okay, so this is what's concerning. And he had the chart in his hand. He put it in, he goes, this is a case of T-cell lymphoma. She's not a case of T-cell lymphoma. She's healthy, she's too healthy, so we were even more confused.
And more biopsies were done, and they were sent all over the United States. At this point, Allie was about 15, and all of a sudden, my son, he was 10, popped up with one of these nodules. And there was a doctor in the immunology lab, and she decided to post the children's case on like a blog. And we got a response from Helsinki, Finland. And he said, I think these kids may have DADA2.
It was overwhelming because finally we could put a name to what was wrong with her. And that was exciting, but at the exact same time, fear sets in because you're like, what are we going to do? Is there a treatment? And also now you're dealing with a child who now knows that they've been sick their entire life. And she's aware that something's going on. She's having fever, she's having joint pains, she's having nosebleeds, the list just goes on. So now fear is a factor for her. She was afraid to be away from me because my job was to keep her calm, was to assure that she was okay.
I don't really remember having this epiphany moment where it was like, oh, I'm ill. Because it did start when I was 2. I just thought, this is how everyone lives, basically. And it wasn't really until I started socializing with my peers a lot more that I realized that that was abnormal. Then I had to come to terms with having this different illness than the one that I thought I had. A lot of the struggles of having a chronic illness at such a young age do cause you to mature a lot faster than your peers as well. And in some ways, I'm really thankful for that because I feel that as a human being in the world, I can be a little bit more understanding and empathetic towards situations that I haven't been in, but I can tell are challenging and hard.
The mission of the DADA2 Foundation is work toward finding a cure by involving the doctors, researchers, pharma, biotech, but most importantly, the patients and families to drive toward that cure in the shortest time possible. Our goal really is to cure a rare disease as fast as it's ever been done in the history of medicine.
Most of these are children. There are some adults, but most of them are children. So talking with the parents about even the struggles they're continuing to deal with, because now we have a diagnosis, we have a treatment, but again, you're still dealing in areas of the world or even here in the United States where doctors have never heard of DADA2.
I'm a really big believer in, saying that it's okay to feel whatever you feel and to represent that because what you're going through is really intense to you. And even if that's not a chronic illness, that's still a lot for a person to deal with. Just because you're different doesn't mean that your life isn't valuable or that you don't have worth or that you can't be successful.
Getting the word out to the rare disease community and beyond, and letting people know that just because you have an unusual symptom and it doesn't fit nicely in a little box, that it doesn't mean that there's something not there. I want to be a part of that and part of being able to help other doctors understand that who don't understand it.
I want to share our story because there are other families out there whose diseases haven't been discovered yet. And they need hope, and they need that encouragement not to give up. Everyone's story is important.